back. Host of Small Ball Podcast, co-founder of Enjoy Basketball, Kenny Beecham's here. Just perfect timing given the performance that your hometown team put on last night. What the hell was that, Kenny? Okay, let's talk about it. It was a weird night. I heard the boos from the hometown crowd. Can't even really blame them. Perfect summer in Chicago basketball looks like what?
Perfect summer is at 1.7% chance of that first overall pick hits, and we get Cooper Flagg on the team. That's the only thing that can really save us.
That's fair.
That's a perfect summer.
That is the all right. What's a slightly less than perfect summer look like in Chicago?
I don't know. I mean, last night was a bit weird. You know, we played 83 games this year, and just so happened the game that mattered the most, we put up the least amount of points we've had all year long. We had scored 115 points in 15 straight games, and we ended with 90 last night. Oof. So I think the fans in the arena share the sentiment of fans across the globe when it comes to Bulls fandom. Being in the play-in 3 years in a row, losing to the Miami Heat 3 years in a row in the play-in, we're tired. We're tired. So what does the perfect offseason looks like? I have no idea, man, because I don't think there's saving this team. A lot of us wanted the team to take a step back, which we did. We traded Zach LaVine. We traded DeMar DeRozan before the season started. And even then, we still look at the roster, squinting our eyes like there's not a lot going on here. So I think we still got like 2 to 3 more years before we can really be excited about Bulls basketball again.
Let me let you in on something, Kenny. And when you're in a position like that, you have a conversation in the locker room. Do we really want to get on this flight and prolong our destiny that we already know what it is? Let's dress this thing up real nice, and let's bow out gracefully, and let's get into this summer, and let's retool and get ready for the next one.
See, that's the insight that we don't have as fans, right? That's why we got to go to Lou
because we can't handle it felt like that. Kenny, we can't handle that as fans. We hear that and we're like, how dare you?
It's like the game right before All-Star Weekend. It's like you don't care about that game. You're just trying to get.
You guys, too much honesty. This is not. We can't handle this. We don't want to hear this. Let me ask you this, because you got the Giddey extension looming. Decisions to be made there at 30 a year potentially. Is anybody on this team in your mind untouchable moving forward?
No, I think we'd be crazy to think about untouchables with this roster, man. I mean, we got players that we like, right? I enjoyed the last 23 games of Josh Giddey. I enjoyed what Kobe White turned into player of the month for March. But there's nobody on the team that I'm like, if they're not here next season, I'm going to be complaining about. It's not like we have Luka Doncic. We're not going to be rioted in the streets if we traded everybody. I did like the rookie, Midas Buzelis, right? So maybe he's the one dude, but he also was the 11th overall pick. It's not like he was Cooper Flagg. So I think everything and anything should be on the table this offseason.
Kenny, we've been going back and forth about Nico Harrison and his private presser. I want to get your opinion on that. If you were a diehard Mavericks fan, hypothetically speaking, how would you feel about that, how they handled it, doing it behind closed doors? What's your opinion on that? What's your take on it?
I feel like every time something new comes out about that team, it's a slap in the face to the fans. From the initial trade to the first press conference where it was Nico and Jason Kidd, and Nico comes in and he's all smiling as if they didn't trade away one of the best players in franchise history, to this one behind closed doors, there has not been this level of realization from the franchise, because even behind those closed doors, what Nico Harrison said as like defense wins championships, which I guess is true, in order to build that defensive-oriented team you're thinking about, you traded away Luka Doncic, and it still blows my mind that they could sit at the table and look you dead in your eye and say that we thought we did the right thing, and we still think we've done the right thing. When we're in the play-in and the Lakers are hosting a first-round matchup series, and people are predicting that they not only can win this series, but the series after that and the series after that, because Luka Doncic is that good. So I would be pissed. I mean, one of my best friends was a Mavericks fan, and then he had to take like a week to himself to figure out if he was going to support that team, and he no longer does. He does a wrestling podcast now, so.
What?
He's out. He's just out.
Wait, as a result of the Luka thing, this was the decision?
He had to step away from the game.
Yeah, he switched sports, man. It's like Jordan going to play baseball, man. He was done with it.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. You got Phoenix missing the playoffs. Budenholzer gets fired. New Orleans is obviously looking like they're going to go into a rebuild. Philly had one of their worst years in recent history, considering all things. Who doesn't see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I think the Suns probably don't see it because, I mean, we got the looming Kevin Durant trade, right? Everybody realizes that's going to happen. Shams Charania reported that they're going to start working with Rich Kleiman to try to make it happen. I mean, they don't have any of their own first-round picks, right? They don't have a coach. They fired back-to-back years. They fired championship coaches. I want to remind people that. So it's definitely them. Like, if you feel it, you're like, okay, we're going to have a top 6 pick this season. We already got Tyrese Maxey. Jared McCain looked pretty good before his injury, and the big fella JoJo should be back. The Pelicans can look at it. The Pelicans are pretty high on that list too. I can't lie. They don't have a lot going on either. But it's got to be the Suns, man, because the only staple is Devin Booker. And you look at that roster and you think about the lack of future assets. I think you have to have the conversation on whether or not you keep Booker around. And I've always been a one-team guy. I love when we have these one-team superstars, but you got to start thinking about the future. And the Kevin Durant trade is going to happen, and maybe a Devin Booker trade in the next year or so.
Kenny, the playoffs, they finally start this Saturday. A lot of great series. Which one are you most likely looking forward to?
It's got to be Lakers-Wolves, right? Like, this series could potentially give us everything. We got Anthony Edwards, who blossomed again this season, becoming one of the best three-point shooters in ball, and remind you he can still dunk on your head. You still do have Luka Doncic going against Rudy Gobert in drop coverage. Will they continue to play drop, or will they switch it at the point? You got the 40-year-old superstar LeBron James, who could kind of play off the ball for the entire series if need be. This should be a classic one, honestly. I'm tuned into every fan base, and Lakers fans feel like it's in 5, and Timberwolves fans feel like they're winning in 5. So both fan bases feel really confident about it. This might be a 7-game series. I think it's going to come down to great coaching, right? JJ Redick's first playoff series versus Chris Finch and company. I'm really excited about all of these things because Austin Reaves is like one of the best third options in all of basketball, and he's going to be guarded by, in every lineup, basically the third best perimeter defender, which might be Mike Conley. And I've seen the Lakers since the trade basically bully small guards every single game. So they might just have Austin Reaves take over this series. And that's crazy because LeBron and Luka are on the court. But Austin Reaves might have a couple 30-point games because he's just going to have favorable matchup after favorable matchup. So it's definitely that 3-6 matchup, Lakers versus Warriors. Or I'm sorry, Lakers versus Wolves.
Who's winning it?
I got Lakers in 6, personally. I think the offensive firepower would just be a little bit too much for the Minnesota Timberwolves, just because once you get that ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands, it really becomes I forgot we're on TV here. It becomes tough for the Wolves to really get some offense going. And we watched that little stretch where the Lakers are one of the best defenses, and I truly do believe that JJ Redick's going to have a really good scheme because Anthony Edwards can be wishy-washy once he sees two bodies on the pick and roll. Sometimes he looks like Luka, sometimes he looks like a rookie Anthony Edwards. So get that ball out of his hands. Julius Randle has his playoff demons. So I'm going Lakers in 6.
I like that.
7.
Julius Randle,
Julius
Randle's got to be great. Julius Randle's got to be great in this series. I said that. So if you had to pick one series, Kenny, to go 7 games, is it this one or is it another one?
It's another one. Okay, to go 7, I think the highest likelihood is Clippers versus Nuggets.
There we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
We talking about a 7-game
now
series.
we on the
Clippers
same page.
And listen, Lou. I'm picking Clippers in this series, man, because they have been one of the best teams in basketball for like the last 30 games. James is playing well. Kawhi Leonard is playing well. Zubac might make an All-NBA team. They have the perfect combination of shot creation and perimeter defense to pretty much deal with anybody. And you would think I was playing in this series the amount of minutes I've watched of those 4 games they played in the regular season, like I was watching films if I had to guard Jokic. But Tyronn Lue and them have basically let Jokic be on an island with Zubac because they don't want the cutters to get their open looks or see Michael Porter Jr. get an open 3. And it's kind of worked out. Like, you're never going to stop Jokic, but you're preventing him from getting those easy passes to assists. It's like, let Jokic beat us, and maybe he drops 50, but that 50 won't be enough. So I'm going Clippers in 7 on that series.
I like the 7.
Wow.
I like it. Do you have any upsets in mind? Like, who are you looking at for that?
I don't even know if I could call it an upset because the Rockets are the higher seed here.
Yep.
But I think the betting odds have the Warriors as the favorite. And I can't get there completely. Like, if the Warriors won, I wouldn't be too surprised. They have Steph Curry, they have Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. That big 3 can be almost anybody. But the holes that the Warriors have as a team, I just feel like the Rockets do an amazing job of taking advantage of those things. The Warriors, no matter what era it was, whether it's early Steph Curry with KD, or post KD, they always turn the ball over. It's part of their movement offense. and the Rockets take advantage of that. They get into the open break. They're a small team. The Rockets have been running Şengün and Steven Adams as a lineup, and it's one of the best two-man lineups in all of basketball. They don't have the experience that the Warriors do, but I'm still leaning a little bit towards Houston, and maybe that's a bit crazy, but I'm running Houston in that one.
That's not crazy.
Okay, I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah, they're 2 seed for a reason. I think the popular thing we should always think is bet Steph Curry, but again, if a team is a 2 seed, they're there for a reason. You got to respect it.
Yeah.
Kenny, let me ask you this. Both Anthony Edwards and Cade Cunningham have the opportunity to kind of make these superstar statements in these series. I'm looking at Cade Cunningham, MSG, game 1 and 2. Which guy do you think has the bigger impact? An Edwards against a Lakers team or a fresh, new, young Pistons team going to MSG, who's also a kind of the sexy pick for an upset?
Yeah, maybe it is Cade Cunningham. He absolutely destroyed the Knicks in their regular season matchups. I mean, he was averaging like 30, 10, and 8. He was disgusting. And a lot of that is because Karl-Anthony Towns and the Knicks are playing so much drop coverage. Cade Cunningham hasn't been a great pull-up shooter in his career, but it's something about Madison Square Garden or something about those Knicks where he can go from a 31% pull-up shooter to a 52% pull-up shooter. Like, we don't expect that to happen for a full series. But if the Pistons have any chance to win a series, it has to be Cade Cunningham averaging 30 and somebody like Malik Beasley or somebody like Tobias Harris just picking up some slack offensively, but it has to be Cade. I think there's worlds where the Timberwolves can pull out a game if Anthony Edwards has a slow night. I don't think the Pistons can win any games if Cade Cunningham is not the superstar version of himself.
Oh, man, Kenny, we made it. Postseason's finally here. This
It's here,
is where it gets real. Appreciate the time. Hopefully we will talk soon. Enjoy the weekend. A lot of TV.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, team.
We'll be right back.
Run it up, run it back.